Alright, kita naman. No? Kita?
Yep.
Alright. So, how about my audio? Okay naman? Rinig ang lahat?
Yes,
Alright,
yes.
good. Game, let's start. So, hi guys. Welcome to the first part of the Introduction to Technical Analysis. So, this will be presented by me, Peter Sanchez. Yung part 2, ipe-present ni Roman Jola tomorrow. No? So, a little bit of background sa akin. I've been with CTS for around 3 years na. I started around 2018, pero nagte-trade na ako noong 2015 pa with my own money. So I graduated with a degree in civil engineering, so medyo malayo. So zero background in finance, pero sinubukan ko pa rin, no? And nangyari, yung sinasabi nga ni boss, 'di ba? Usually kung nagsa-start ka, parang ano pa lang 'to medyo gambling . So nangyari sa huli, I wasn't profitable. So this prompted me to study in Kalum Trading Institute, and yun nga, bulk of my knowledge nung ko natutunan. After that, after graduating, nag-apply ako sa CTS, and luckily, isa ako sa mga tinanggap. So, yeah. So enough about me. Siguro gusto makilala yung mga interns, no? So sino dito yung nagte-trade na? No? Nagte-trade na o kaya may may background na sa technicals? Can I get a raise of hands? Lang, So madami na. So ilan to? 1, 2, 3. Nice. So madami. So tanong ko Kyle, how's it been? Kumusta trading mo?
Technicals
ka, no?
Yeah. Sometimes okay naman, pero minsan natatakot mag-cut loss.
Okay. So overall okay.
Medyo naman. Okay naman.
How about tech? Tech, tama? Tech,
Yeah.
Chia?
Yeah. Hello.
Kumusta naman yung trading?
It's fun. Like yeah, you learn, well, I learned how to be more disciplined. Like cut with with my entry points and my stop losses and everything. And yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I mean basically dito sa technicals price action tayo no? So yeah, madami tayong ganyan. So all right. Siguro start na tayo. Okay. So hopefully everyone has watched or read na yung pre-modules kasi dito sa lecture natin or how I'll tackle this. Kasi first of all, technical analysis is a very very broad subject, no? So kulang yung 2 hours, 2 days, 2 hours for sa lahat ng technical analysis. So we'll focus more on the the actual parang more practical approach. We'll focus on kung paano namin in CTS ginagamit yung technical analysis, paano namin i-interpret kasi the same time kailangan isa lang yung language namin no? We're one organization So yun. Siguro mamaya magkakaroon tayo ng seatwork kung may oras pa. So please listen well. So yun. For for some siguro, sa mga may experienced na, kasi since I think half of you nagtitrade na and half of you may knowledge sa technicals, itong lecture na to, para to sa mga at least zero knowledge in technicals. Kasi first part pa lang to, introduction nga, di ba? So very basic siya. So if you're the one na may experience na, please bear with me. At the same time, since ibang technical analysis books may pwedeng iba yung terms, pwedeng iba yung use ng mga indicators natin dito. So yan, no? So okay, for our outline, simula muna tayo sa intro to technical analysis. Wait. Testing ko pala yung annotations ko. Everyone can see my annotations, no? Kasi I'll use this a lot. So first intro to technical analysis. What is technical analysis? What is a price chart? I'm pretty sure alam niyo na kung ano yung price chart. Pero for the sake of one picture tayo lahat, touch upon tayo doon, no? Second, trends. Ano yung trend directions? What are the types of trends? What are trend lines? How do we use trend lines? How do we use trend lines to identify the directions? Third, support and resistance. What are support and resistances? Ano yung logic ng support and resistance? And lastly, indicators. Again, in technical analysis, very broad in subject. Indicators-wise, sobrang daming indicators sa mundo. In CTS, we will only focus on 3. Ito rin kasi usually na ginagamit namin. Some traders use other indicators also, pero mostly nagre-revolve lang kami sa tatlong to. No? So first is the EMA, Exponential Moving Average, MACD, the Moving Average Convergence Divergence, and yung ADX, or Average Directional Index. Okay? Next. So first, what is technical analysis? Ano nga ba ang technical analysis? I got this definition from the CMT Association and John Murphy's book, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. So for my first definition, basically technical analysis is the study of data generated by the action of markets and by the behavior and psychology of market participants and observers. Such study is usually applied to estimating the probabilities for the future course of prices for a market. No? So that's first. Second definition, technical analysis is the study of market action or price action, primarily through the use of charts for the purpose of forecasting future price trends. So kung i-combine natin both, it's basically using charts to get a picture of the behavior and psychology of market participants and observers. No? So from use of charts and with data, we can forecast future price trends, no? Future probable futures of that price trend. May nag-raise ng hand? Tama ba? Or kamali lang yun?
Sorry, it was just a mistake.
Okay, mali. All right. So, okay, we move on. Technical analysis, as we know it, today, was first practiced by Mr. Charles Dow. Maka-familiar rin siya sa inyo since some indices are named after him. And yung teachings niya, yung Dow theory was nagawa siya noong late 1800s. And from his teachings, nagkaroon tayo ng 3 premises or the 3 beliefs in the technical approach. So first, the first belief is yung market action discounts everything. What does this mean? Market action, we could also say na price action. So in terms of price action, to simplify this, sobrang simplify lang to. It's basically saying that if the price of a stock is bullish, then the fundamentals of the stock in the present and the expected future fundamentals of the stock must be also bullish, di ba? So since the stock market is medyo forward looking, di ba? So kung ano yung ina-expect ng tao sa future, it's being priced in today. Gets? Second, nag-a-apply rin to kung baliktad, no? So kung bearish yung price, malamang baka in the present and future expected fundamentals of that stock bearish din, no? So second, price moves in trends. Yung sinabi ito ni Charles Dow, no? These trends, kapag yung price gumagalaw in trends, these trends persist for a long time. So if you're a investor or trader, it's paramount na sumabay tayo sa trend na to. And yun nga, opportunity to take advantage. Lastly, history repeats itself. Assumption natin is that yung nagpa-participate sa stock market are humans, di ba? So basically, the psychology is the same. From the past to the present, parehas lang yung psychology. So if you're an investor or trader that may idea ka na yung dati nangyari na, we could also expect that what happened in the past can and will happen in the future. So as a trader investor, another opportunity to take advantage. Okay? So again, I got this from Mr. John Murphy's book, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets. Okay. Okay, next, we go to price chart. So malamang dapat alam mo nyo na to kasi I bet ang dami nyo nang binibigyan na examples dito. Pero for the sake na tayo, one picture tayo lahat. Ito. In CTS, we mostly use the candlestick price chart. No? Ang daming ways to draw a price chart. Meron yung Heikin-Ashi, point in figure, blah, 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 blah. In CTS, we only use the candlestick. Because in my opinion rin, ito na yung pinakamadali. No? The price chart, there's a ticker symbol that represents the company, price and time. The y-axis represents price. X-axis represents the time. You have the volume. Volume is the total quantity of shares traded. In this particular example, ito yung bar chart natin sa baba, itong green. So that's volume. I use the daily time frame. So per day basis, yun yung volume. We also have our indicators. Indicators are just mathematical calculations based on the security's price and or volume. So itong indicators natin, for example, ito yung EMAs, itong iba-ibang kulay na lines, the MACD, moving average convergence divergence, and the ADX. No? Lahat tong indicators based lang rin sa security ng price. But sa totoo lang, if you ask me, hindi naman siya talaga kailangan. Kapag medyo trivia lang, no? Kung bigyan nyo sila boss o kaya sila Sir Lawrence ng price chart, minsan di na nila kailangan ng indicators. Minsan, sabihin na nila, okay, ano to? May divergence, price lang. No? Minsan kay Sir Law, bigyan mo lang ng price chart, kaya na niya i-draw yung MACD sa baba. Kahit di mo na siya bigyan ng MACD. So, kasi based lang siya sa price. For us, sa ating mga beginners, no, sa mga nagsa-start pa lang mag-trading, it's a easier way to get an objective interpretation of price, no? So gamitin natin itong mga indicators. Okay? So far clear naman lahat, no? Okay. So we move now to trends. So as mentioned before, sabi nga according to Dow, yung opportunity to make money is to follow the trend, no? So it's paramount for us traders or investors to know kung ano nga ba ang trend and ano ba yung direction ng trend na pinupuntahan natin, no? So first, what is a trend? It's basically an overall direction of a asset's price, or basically in our case, a stock's price. There are three types of trends, no? Or yung trend direction. This is the sideways, the uptrend, and the downtrend. So how do we identify a trend? We use trend lines and moving averages. Okay. Okay, for the first type of trend, we have the sideways trend. No? Ang sideways trend, basically, it looks like na meron lang siyang similar highs and similar lows. Yung highs don't need to be exact na equal, pero visually, nakikita mo sa chart, mukha siyang the same. Same with the lows. To make a trend line, we just connect the highs and connect the lows. So in this particular case, may highs tayo dito na equal-ish. So yan, we can make a line. So yan. Sa lows, we connect the lows. Yan. Kapag meron tayo 4 points, remember this, in making trend lines, kailangan natin ng 4 points palagi. Kung meron tayo 4 points na sa case na sideways, same highs, same lows, yan. Ito ang hitsura nung sideways. In other technical analysis books, pwede rin siyang tawaging trading ranges, pwede rin siyang tawaging boxes in Japanese candlestick books. Or for some traders or investors, sabi nga nila trendless ang sideways since wala naman talaga siyang direction. Okay? We could also identify them by using moving averages. Itsura na moving averages sideways trend is usually nag-fluctuate lang siya in between. But I'll give the example sa lang nito mamaya kapag nandun na tayo sa indicators section. We'll focus more on the trend lines. Okay? So for an actual example, I used Adobe or ADBE, ticker symbol. As you can see here, nung 2020 of September, we have a high dito, around $530. Another high nung mid-October, around $510. No? We have a low mid-September 2020, around $460. And in November, a low around $440. Okay? So again, 4 points, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, we have a trend. So we could say na starting nung September, Adobe was on a sideways trend. And kung extend pa natin, since nire-respect lang niya yung highs and lows, yan, I mean, ito medyo malalim na, pero siguro pwede na. Medyo po pasok dito yung art of technical analysis. So, hindi siya exact na exact. Okay? A low, a high, similar, another high, respect lang ni price. So, I guess, you could say that starting September until mid of 2021, Adobe was on a sideways trend. Okay? Okay. Dali lang, di ba? Okay. Next. Another example, Amazon. Same. September, we have a high right here, around $3,500. Noong mid-September, a low, around $2,900. Another high, 3,400. So, 2,950. Again, 4 points. We have a trend. Connect the highs, connect the lows. Same with Adobe, since kung extend ko rin to, re-respect lang ni price yung highs and lows. So, could say that Amazon, starting September of 2020 hanggang mid of 2021, Amazon was on a sideways trend. Clear? Clear, clear? All right. Okay, next. Other trend direction or yung uptrend. To identify an uptrend, we need higher highs and higher lows. So in this part sa picture ko dito, to make a trend line, we connect the lows. So again, we need 4 points. So we have a low here, a low, 1, a high, 2, higher low, 3, and higher high, 4. So 4 points na. To make a trend line, we connect the lows. Yan. Easy, easy, easy. So ito rin, we have a low right here. Pwede rin natin dito tayo mag-start sa higher low tayo. So first point, okay, clear ko muna ito kung malinis. Pwede rin dito. We have a low right here, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yan, pwede tayo gumawa trend line. We connect the lows. Yan. Okay. Another way to identify an uptrend is using moving averages. So madali lang rin since para masabing uptrend siya, sabihin natin ito yung EMAs natin or MAs, price just needs to be above that moving average. Okay? For an actual example, I use Google or also known as Alphabet Inc. So with Google, we have a low noong 2021. A low noong starting 2021, a high noong around late or mid-Feb 2021, other low noong April, higher low. So low, high, higher low, and a higher high noong May. So again, we connect the lows. And we have an uptrend line. Okay. Next, another example. We have JP Morgan. No? Same lang rin. Logically speaking, we have a low, high, higher low, and a higher high. Okay. To make a trend line, meron tayong 4 points, we connect the lows. Yan. So as you can see here, na around April, mid-April, nag-break yung trend line natin. We'll discuss more about that later, no? So alahanin nyo lang to. So we could say that starting November of 2020 hanggang April of 2021, JP Morgan was on an uptrend. Diba? Okay. Same, lastly, we have the downtrend. Almost same lang siya sa uptrend pero baliktad lang. So in a downtrend, we need lower highs and lower lows. So to make a trend line, kabaliktaran sa uptrend, dito sa downtrend, we connect the highs. So again, 4 points. We have a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. We connect the highs, trend line, downtrend line. Again, pwede rin dito. Ito rin dito, we have a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. So we connect the highs. Di ba? Dali lang, di ba? We could also use moving averages to identify downtrends. So in this case, kabaliktaran lang rin ng uptrend, kung downtrend siya, we want the price to be below the moving averages. Okay? Okay. For an actual example, we have Zoom or ticker symbol ZM. So in this case, we have a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low. So connect the highs. So starting November until mid 2021, we could say that Zoom was on a downtrend. Okay. Next, again, same rin sa Alibaba. Nung starting November, we have a high, a low, lower high, and a lower low. Sorry sa drawing ko, medyo hirap sa mouse. Okay, and yeah, same. So starting November until mid 2021, we could say that Alibaba was on a downtrend. Okay, so yeah. Some notes about trend lines. Kapag nagkaroon tayo ng break ng trend line or an EMA, it's only a signal for a possible change in trend. So sa case nung binigay ko yung example kanina sa JP Morgan, nag-break siya nung trend line, di ba? Naging sideways siya. But that doesn't mean na magbabago na siya ng trend. Kung nag-break ng trend line, it just means there's a possible change. Possible lang. We need confirmation bago natin masabi na nagbago na siya ng trend. So another note is that the more prices, high or low, downtrend or uptrend, that yung price niya touch yung trend line, the more influential the line is believed to be. So if you're a trader, tapos nakita mo, tinatamaan tong trend line mo palagi as a support, or sabihin natin as a low, you could expect that sa future, maging low rin siya. No? Again, expect lang. It's not 100% sure, pero nagkakaroon ka na ng expectation. Kung hindi na-respect yung trend line mo, nagkaroon ng break, then there's a chance na nababago na siya ng trend. Okay? Gets? So, yeah. For an example, sa change in trend, sa case ni Zoom, na-establish na natin nung di ba? November till mid 2021, downtrend siya. Pero before, Zoom was on a uptrend. So we have a low, a high, higher low, higher high. Sabihin natin dito. So we connect the lows. Sa case ni Zoom, after niya mag-break ng trend around late December, time na to, nagbago na siya ng trend since na-confirm na natin na downtrend na siya. Gets? Gets ba? Gets ba lahat? If we didn't know nung time na yon, sabihin natin, ito, hindi natin alam yan. Hindi natin alam na downtrend na siya. Pero nagkaroon na ng break. Diyan pa lang, meron na tayong signal. It's not 100% sure, pero may signal na tayo. Kung trader tayo, kailangan meron tayong timing aspect. So, from there, at the back of our heads, if you're long Zoom, may hawak kang stock nito, you should consider selling na. Kasi, break na yung trend line mo. And lo and behold, yun nga nangyari. After that break, nag-confirm siya. Nag-confirm siya na naging downtrend siya. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Same example, Alibaba, uptrend siya nung June. Sorry. June hanggang November. Kung hindi natin alam yung time na to, yan, hindi natin alam yan, and it broke your trend line, ito nag-gap down pa eh. Same logic, hindi natin alam kung nababago na siya ng trend. Pwede siyang mag-hold lang siya dyan or maging sideways, no? Pero from there, kung nakikita mo na nag-break yung trend mo, and you were long, you should, at the back of your mind, dapat nasa isip mo na magbenta. Okay? And yun nga talaga nangyari. Kung di ka nagbenta, o de yung stock mo, nandito na sa 215. From trader, naging investor ka na. Di ba? Ayan. Again, typical, we need our trend lines. This example is CLDX or CLDX. So you have a low, a high, higher low, higher high. Connect the lows. And sa case ni CLDX, nag-break siya ng trend line. But again, a break of trend line is only a possible signal for a change in trend. Sa case ni CLDX, after niya nag-break, bumawi siya. Tumuloy pa siya ulit. No? So, kung time na to, you're considering of selling, okay lang yun. Kasi nasunod yung rule mo na if nagkaroon ng break ng trend line, there's a possible change in trend. Sa case lang niya, bumawi ulit siya at making another uptrend. So low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Yeah. Okay? Okay. Other notes about trend lines. Kung naalala nyo sa video ni Sir Juanes, dun sa Technical Analysis 101 niya, trends must always be defined by the context of time. Meron tayong tinatawag na long-term trend or also known as the primary. We measure it with months to years. You have the medium term or also known as intermediate. We measure it weeks to months. We have the short term or daily. We measure it from days to weeks. And the intraday, within the day trends. We measure it from minutes to hours. In CTS, usually kami, we focus on the 1-year chart lang. We use daily data points, and for intraday, we use the 5 minutes. Yung pinakagusto namin ang uptrends. Since, at least for me, in my experience, ito yung pinakamadaling pera. The most easy money following uptrends. Okay? For more examples, again, balikan naman tayo sa Adobe. Established na sideways trend siya noong September of 2020 hanggang mid 2021. But kung i-zoom out ko, this is the same stock, Adobe, but I used a 5-year chart on a weekly candlestick basis. As you can see, kung weekly babasihan natin, we have a low, a high, higher low, and a higher high. Actually, if we zoom out pala, Adobe is on an uptrend. Itong sideways trend natin, ito lang yun. No? So when we're analyzing trends, dapat laging may context of time. Since if we zoom out, pwede iba yung trend. If we zoom in, pwede iba rin yung trend. Gets? Okay? Another example, ito, balik tayo sa Google. We established that Google was on an uptrend. Di ba? Okay. Pero sa case ni Google, ito, 1-year chart to eh. And if we zoom in, pwede natin makita na actually nung November to December, actually January na, Google gumagawa pala siya ng mini sideways trends in between. No? So sa case naman itong example na to, from a yearly, we zoom in sa more daily chart or daily short-term time frame, gumagawa ng sideways trend si Google. Diba? February to March, November to December. Okay? So when analyzing trends, dapat laging may context of time. All right, so far, gets ba? Naka-follow naman? I think compared to fundamentals and macro, I think trend analysis is very easy. So any questions? Walang questions? Okay, kung walang questions, hindi ako magtatanong. Wait lang, may message. Okay, ito, may question si Alvin. What has more weight, EMAs or trend lines? And what if one is broken and the other one isn't yet? Okay, mamaya. Sagutin ko yung mamaya since we'll discuss EMAs later pagdating natin sa indicators section. So please hold that question. Kung makalimutan ko, please remind me. Okay? Okay, meron pa? Wala na. So everyone knows how to draw trend lines na? Okay? So okay, ako na lang magtatanong since wala naman isa lang yung tanong sa akin eh. So what are the 3 types of trends? Can anyone answer? What are the 3 types or 3 directions of a trend? Marco?
Up, down, sideways.
Nice. Tama. Okay? Ano pang pinagtanong? Oh, how do we identify these trends, Marco? How do you identify an uptrend, sideways, or downtrend in terms of trend lines?
Connecting the highs and lows
Sa
of the chart. So like if it's a bottom trend, if it's an uptrend, we connect the lows, the new lows. Then if it's a downtrend, we connect the lower highs.
if it's a downtrend, we connect the highs, and kung uptrend, we connect the lows. Tama ba?
Yes.
Tama rinig ko?
Yeah.
Overall, tama. Yun na naman yun eh. Okay? So, okay. Wala nang questions. We move now to support and resistance. Okay? So, itong prices natin as we saw on the chart, these prices na nakita natin are actual transactions na nangyari. They're actual buyers and actual sellers na nagtatransact sa price na yun. And as we all know, when economic theory tells us that when there are more buyers, demand increases. And when there's demand, sumasabay rin yung price. Price also rises. Okay? The opposite is also the same. When there are more sellers, or in our case, the sellers or supply, people willing to sell, the price falls. Okay? So, dyan po pasok yung support and resistance. By definition, again, I got this from Mr. John Murphy, support is a price level on a chart under the market where buying interest is sufficiently strong to overcome selling pressure. The opposite is the resistance, a price level on the chart over the market where selling pressure overcomes buying pressure and the price advance is turned back. Right? For an actual example, balik tayo sa favorite kong Adobe. Okay. As we sinabi natin previously, price rises when there's demand. Diba? So, nung June to September of 2020, umakyat lang siya. But umabot rin sa point na around $530, it's stalled. So, there was demand na dito nung time na to. Pero pagdating ng $530, humina. Buying pressure weakened. And umabot sa point na selling pressure yung nagkaroon ng lakas. Therefore, creating our resistance. Or in this case, our first resistance. Sa level na to, there are more sellers that believe na hindi na worth it bilhin si Adobe. And yung nangyari, bumalik yung price. There was more selling na nangyari, bumaba yung price. So, there are more supply na time na tong around mid-September. And mid-September, nag-stall uli yung price. This time, baliktad. Humina na yung selling pressure. Ang lumakas naman ngayon is yung buying since nag-hold siya around $470. Therefore, nasusupport. There were buyers coming in and supporting the price. Ito na yung naging support natin. So, yun. Basically, sa case natin dito, sellers believe na ito yung tamang presyo for Adobe. Buyers think na ito yung tamang presyo kay Adobe. And kung i-extend natin tong level na to, ito yung naging highs and lows natin. So every time price goes back up around say the same $500, $530, nagre-resist siya. And every time price goes below around 400, 450, buyers are supporting it. So in our case, yung sideways trend pala, lumalabas, equal lang sila in strength. Sellers, buyers and sellers are just equal in strength. Kasi nag-uuntugan lang sila eh. Yan, pag akyat dito, bentahan na. Pag dito, bili. See? Gets? So yun. So in sideways trends, parang pinapamukha nito, equal lang sila in strength. Okay? With that logic, kung nag-uptrend pala ang price, it must mean that there are more buyers in that particular time frame. Since more demand umaakyat siya. May times na shorter time frame, syempre nagkakaroon tayo ng meron tayong selling, pero overall on the bigger picture, based on itong sa trend line natin, mas madaming buyers. Okay? So lumalabas, itong trend line natin itong lows natin na kinoconnect via trend lines are support. So as traders, since ito yung nagiging support area ng stock natin, we can expect na every time price goes back sa trend line natin, there are buyers that will come in. Okay? Same logic kapag downtrends. Same. So, again, we established Alibaba ulit. Establish natin downtrend siya noong November 2020 until May. So, yun rin nangyari. Itong highs natin, ito yung nagiging resistance. So, we can expect na kapag ito si Alibaba, umakyat yung price niya and umabot dito sa trend line natin, we could expect na may resistance. Since nire-respect lang niya to. Nire-respect niya yung resistance areas na to. Okay? Yun. So far, clear? Any questions? None. Ito. Okay, si Abe or ano ba, Abe? Abe?
Yeah, Abe. For mga ano to, like let's say for example for bear traps or bull traps, is there a way kaya na ano to, we can be able to like distinguish them in a way na when they happen, like we can determine this is just a bear trap ganun when it's yung parang yung uptrend na stock, like for example yung sa Adobe, or is it more of ano to, you would rather position yourself na ano to, you exit first and then once you confirm na it's a bear trap, that's the time you enter again.
Okay, so I imagine ito yung sinasabi mong bear trap ito. Tama? Kasi
Yups.
yan. Okay. Kasi that's a very good question. In predicting the future, unless Nostradamus ka, di ba? No one can predict the future, no? So, hindi natin malalaman kung bear trap ba talaga yan o hindi. But at the same time, if you remember yung same example ko dun sa context of time, ito si Adobe, if investor ka and bigger time frame yung habol mo, hindi mo na rin to papansin Pero as a trader, kung nakita mo siya as a break of support or break of your trend line and your plan was to sell on that break of support, dapat out ka na. Kasi kung trap lang talaga siya and you really like this stock, you can always go back in. Tama yung sinabi mo Since kung bumalik lang yung price and support to, and you really believe na support tong area na to, tinanong ka lang, titawag natin na stop hunt ka, you can always go back in. Yung mahirap kasi, kung ito hindsight na siya Ito yung titawag natin hindsight, di ba? Kung hindi natin alam to. Hindi natin alam yan. Nag-break ng support. Tapos nangyari, tumuloy pa siya pababa. O dahil pagdating dito sa baba, magsisisi ka. Bakit di ko sinunod yung plan ko? Nangyari, na naisip natin na trap siya kasi nakita natin bumalik umakyat Again, hindi natin alam yung future. So, kung we really like this stock, I suggest, kung na-break siya, balik ka na lang. Okay? Hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go, you wanna...
Any more questions? Yun. Yo.
So, if ever sa Adobe, parang, so babalik ka na lang break ng top naman, if ever. So, around 500. Doon ka re-enter if ever. Di ba, nag-break ng bottom mo, lumabas ka.
Okay.
So pag kung gusto mo pa rin siya, re-enter ka 500 na, no? On top.
Yes. Yes, kasi gusto mo siya eh.
Okay.
Okay, so, I mean, kung dapat wala tayong bias pagdating dyan eh. Kung na-stop out ka because you followed your plan, plano mo yun eh. Sundin mo. Yan, kung plano mo rin na bilhin tong stock with a right setup, katulad ngayon na break, sabihin natin breakout setup, di ba? Dapat bumalik ka. Di ba? No bias. Kung na-bad trip ka dahil na-stop out ka, bias na yan. Hindi na hindi na systematic trading yan. Di ba? Okay? Hope that answers your question.
Yes.
Any more? Okay. Okay, next. So, medyo related dun sa nangyari. So, sa question ni Abe, di ba? Nagkaroon tayo ng breakdown. Pero nangyari, bear trap lang pala siya. So, ano nga ba ang breakdown? Ito yung, when nagkaroon tayo ng breakdown, basically yung price bumagsak or linagpasan niya yung support level. The opposite is the breakout. Kapag yung price naman, lumagpas over a resistance level. Usually, nangyayari to dahil may catalyst or may recent news na nangyari. And kapag itong breakouts or breakdowns natin nangyari with relatively high volume, it shows conviction. So people believe that yung breakout na yun valid. And the opposite is also true, no? Kung low naman yung relative volume, it is more prone to failure since less people believe na tama yung price niya or yung pag-breakout niya. Okay? For examples, okay, this is ARK or ARK ETF. Again, trend analysis, we need trend lines natin, a low, a high, higher low, higher high. So, uptrend. Okay. Meron rin tayong uptrend dito. Around November of 2020, we have a low, high, higher low, higher high. So we could connect lows and trend line. Dito pa lang, as you can see, nag-break na ng trend natin. Itong shorter term trend line natin, nag-break. At the same time with high volume. If we didn't know, hindi natin alam yung future, diba? We didn't know na kung ano mangyari. That break of trend line plus high volume is a signal na for us traders na there might be a change in trend. So dalawa na ngayon. Before, price lang. Pag break yung trend line, baka may change in trend. Second, yung volume naman. Kung mataas ang volume, there's a good chance that yung breakout na to, kung saan siya nag-breakout or breakdown, dun siya tutuloy. So sa case ni ARK, yun nga nangyari. After that breakdown, with high volume, tumuloy siya pababa. Okay? And dun sa longer trend line natin, kanina, nag-break ulit siya. Pero, high volume ulit. Pero sa case niya, bumalik siya. So, sa definition kanina, baka ito yung sisabi rin ni Abe na pwedeng bear trap din. Then again, nagbago pa rin siya ng trend. Nangyari, naging sideways trend siya after ng dalawang breakdowns na yun. And eventually, after gumawa siya sideways trend, nag-breakdown pa ulit, no, around 110 with high volume again. And this time, kinonfirm na niya na si RK nasa downtrend. So, high, low, lower high, lower low. Downtrend na si RK. So, dito pa lang, dapat at the back of your head, if you were long RK, dapat ready ka na magbenta. Okay? Dagdag mo pa na high volume yung breakdown. Again, umulit pa siya with high volume breakdown again. Tapos ito, for the third time, breakdown ulit with high volume. Kung nagmamatigas ka na, hawakan pa rin si RK. Kundi, investor ka na. Diba? Okay. Other example of a breakout, yung Star Surgical or STAA. Again, trend lines as usual. Ito, nakikita ko may sideways trend tayo dito. Same highs and lows. And no this was 2018, around May, nagkaroon tayo ng breakout. Sa case niya, kumari, hindi natin alam to, no? Hindi natin alam, nag-breakout. At the same time, may high volume. If kasama sa plan mo na breakout trader ka, kasama sa plan to buy on the breakout with high volume, dapat pasok ka na kagad dyan. And lo and behold, after that breakout, tumuloy lang siya. Sa case pa ni STAA, sobrang lakas niya. Kasi I believe nagkaroon ng may catalyst to eh. Naglabas siya ng earnings and the earnings was very good. So, yeah. Okay. Another example, AMD. I see a sideways trend here. Sideways trend. Nag-breakout siya 2020 of July with high volume. Again, high volume. And after that breakout, naging uptrend siya. Okay? Hindi natin alam yung time na to. As usual, hindi natin alam yung future. Pero nakita natin may high volume and may breakout of a sideways trend. And kasama sa strategies mo yung breakout trading, dapat pasok ka dito. Okay? And again, I think earnings rin yung ano nito, yung catalyst. So as long as may breakout ka with high volume and the catalyst was good, ano siya, good stock to get into. Okay. Meron rin tayong tinatawag na support and resistance role reversal. I hope na binasa nyo or pinanood nyo yung pre-module videos kasi tinakal din to yung pinaka-logic niya. I'm not gonna expound on that na. So basically, sinasabi lang dito, yung kapag meron tayong na-establish na resistance and nagkaroon tayo ng breakout, we could expect that the previous resistance will be the future support. Okay? So bumalik yung price, yung dating resistance, yan na yung bagong support. Same is also true kapag downtrend. Kapag nagkaroon tayo ng breakdown, yan, sabi natin, ito yung support. Nagkaroon tayo ng breakdown, na-break yung support natin. After that breakdown, and bumalik yung price sa taas, yung previous support natin will be our future resistance. Okay? Binaliktad ko lang itong chart. So, ano yan lang. Okay. For an actual example, this is MSFT or Microsoft. As you can see here, as usual, our trend lines have a low, high, higher low, higher high. Ito na lang. Paano sa dali? Yan. We have our trend lines. And kung mag-zoom in tayo, may mga sideways trend tayo. Sideways. Let me know guys kung medyo magulo yung drawing. So, para linisin ko. So, as you can see here, nung November to start of 2021, nag-sideways trend si Microsoft. And we had a breakout with high volume. After that breakout, muloy siya. And bumalik ulit. But since itong previous resistance natin, we expect na may future support siya, nung bumalik siya, yun nga nangyari. Previous resistance has become support noong March. Again, nagkaroon tayo ng breakout nung around April. Pero sa case na to, yung volume it's not significant compared nung Feb, no? Tumuloy yung price, bumalik ulit yung price, at the same time, yung previous resistance has become support. Okay? So sa charting, pwede mo nang expect yan. Kung nagkaroon tayo ng breakout and kasama sa plan mo yung what we call yung pwede natin yung pullback or buy on support, pwede mo na miss mo yung breakout, diba? Pwede mo na lang hintayin yung pagbalik niya. Since kung bumalik siya and bumalik dun sa level kung saan yung previous resistance, we could expect na madaming buyers na magpapasok. Pwede ka sumabay dun. Okay? Sa case ni Microsoft, yun nga nangyari. Okay? Same kung downtrend. So sa case ni Weibo, again, this is Weibo nga pala, 2018 to 2018 chart. So again, downtrend, we have a high, we have a low, lower high, lower low, yeah. So downtrend, connect the highs, yeah. Sa case ni Weibo, because we could see na nung Feb to May, although hindi clear ang trend, we could see na may support dito, support. No? And nung nag-break yung support, so natin gawa tayo line dito, support line. This is not a trend line, support line lang to. Nag-break na support, breakdown with high volume, bumaba yung price. Then bumalik yung price, umakyat ulit. But yun nga, yung previous support has now become the resistance. So nangyari, nauntog lang siya dun sa previous support na resistance na ngayon. No? And tumuloy lang siya pababa. Dahil sa sobrang hina niya, di na siya bumalik. No? You could also see it here, noong September of 2018. Medyo support. And yung naging support siya, yun yung naging future resistance noong October to December na. Ito. Okay? Gets? So far, okay naman? Okay na kayo guys? Again, any questions? Bago tayo move to indicators. Any questions regarding support and resistance? None. Walang tanong. Alright, so walang tanong. Di ako magtatanong, as usual. Kobe.
Yes, hello.
Can you define yung support and resistance for me? Medyo recap.
So like a support is a price level at which there is enough buying volume to stop a further fall in the price. So like ang pagkaintindi ko dun is like a lot of people are watching the stock and all of them sort of agree na pagdating sa price ito bibili ako. So pagdating nga sa price yun, everyone does buy and so the price stops falling kasi nasa support na nila. And then the inverse naman I understand is true for the resistance naman, no? Na at that price, a lot of people will think na okay, sell na ako. So pagdating sa price na yun, babagsak mo siya ulit. Kasi a lot of the people are selling na. So tumataas na ang selling pressure, nawawala na ang buying pressure, if I understand that correctly.
All right, perfect. Nice one, Kobe. Thank you for that. Okay. Another question. Nicole Tan.
Yes.
Can you define the breakout or breakdown?
So basically it's like a point if the chart like goes past either support or resistance. So parang the way I understand it, it's like if it's pataas and then it goes past like the expected point upwards, then it's a breakout. And if it falls past the expected point, then it's a breakdown.
All right. Tama. So that expected point kapag breakout is the resistance. If price goes beyond the resistance, breakout tayo. If price goes below the support, breakdown, basically. And kapag malaki yung volume, there's a good chance kung saan direction siya na breakout or breakdown, tutuloy yung trend na yun. Kung low ang volume, there's a good chance na mag-fail yung breakout. Okay? Thanks for that, Ms. Nicole. Right. Okay, no questions na? We'll go to indicators. So again, pagdating sa indicators, technical analysis is a very broad subject. Sa indicators, usually ginagamit lang namin yung CTS, tatlo. Ito yung exponential moving average, the MACD, and the ADX. Okay. So, ito. So the EMAs or the exponential moving average is just one type of moving average. Madaming ways to compute the moving average. Kung naalala niyo sinabi ni Sir Jason before sa macro niya, we like the EMAs because maganda yung signals na binibigay niya sa amin. More in particular siguro, mas sakto siya sa market timing systems that you will learn the next few days na ginagamit sa CTS. So EMAs na ginagamit namin. Basically, EMAs are just moving averages that places a greater weight in significance on the most recent data points. Usually, ginagamit namin 10, 20, 50, and 200-day EMAs. Again, kasi dahil sa market timing systems and overall trend analysis. 10 days is 10 days basically is 2 weeks of price action. 20 days, basically around a month's worth of price action. 50 days, a quarter. And 200 days, around 1 year. Okay? We use EMAs to identify trends. As mentioned before, in this particular example, establish natin sideways to see Microsoft. Yung EMAs, they just fluctuate in between the highs and lows. Kapag uptrend naman, prices are above that particular EMA. So in this example, that 200-day EMA, on a 1-year time frame, uptrend si Microsoft. On a shorter time frame, tong September to December, sideways siya. Makita mo rin sa 20, 50, and 10-day EMAs, nag-fluctuate lang siya in between. Okay? Yung paggamit namin sa EMAs are very similar to trend lines. So, pwede rin siya maging support and resistance. The only difference is, kung napansin nyo sa trend lines, it's not really exact. Unlike yung EMAs na it's an actual formula, it's an actual equation. In my opinion, parang in trend lines, parang it's an attempt for a line best fit, di ba? Yung linear regression natin. Pero hindi siya actually ganun. No? So, yun. Naalala ko yung question ni Alvin. So, ano yung mas ginagamit? Tama ba? Saan yung question niya? Okay. Alvin's question was, what has more weight? EMAs or trend lines? What if one is broken and the other one isn't yet? No? For me, I use both. Some traders, and I think si boss just use EMAs. Hindi siya gumagamit ng trend lines. Yung iba naman, they prefer to use trend lines. Ano yung pinaka-difference? Ano yung is again, yung signals. For me, since I use both, ginagamit ko yung trend lines if I need usually faster signal. Kasi minsan, kung momentum trade, mas gusto ko yung mas mabilis. Kung na-break na sa certain trend line ko, out na kagad ako. Usually, not all the time, yung EMAs or moving averages in general are mas naglalag siya. Other name pa nga sa kanila are lagging indicators. So, madalas mas nahuhuli sila compared sa trend lines. If mas longer time frame mo, siguro mas useful sa'yo yung EMAs. At the same time, if you're more scientific, mas gusto mo yung mas exact, baka mas useful rin siya. Okay? So what if the other one is broken, the other one isn't? Depende na yan sa'yo. Kung ano nga yung mas better yung signals for you. You need to test it out sa system mo kung ano yung mas profitable for you. Okay? I hope that answers your question, Alvin. Okay. Yun. Another to, di ba, pwede rin siya gawing support assistance. You can see here in Microsoft, if you observe tong 50 EMA, nagsusupport si Microsoft sa 50. Although, meron siyang mga bull traps. Yan. At some points, naiging support siya. So, you could see na you could expect na kung si Microsoft going forward, kapag malapit na siya sa 50-day EMA or kung mag-break siya ng 50-day EMA, it's not exactly break na talaga. Kasi historically, based on history, there's a tendency na nagsusupport siya sa 50 EMA. Okay? Again, expectation lang. It's not a sure thing, but you can expect it na. Okay? More examples. Again, Amazon. So, in-establish natin na sideways trend siya. Pero sa case ng EMAs, yan, shorter EMAs, nag-fluctuate lang siya. Bigger picture, sa 200-day, Amazon is actually on an uptrend kasi nasa taas yung price. Okay? Again, another example, again, balik tayo sa JP Morgan. Establish natin si JP Morgan is on an uptrend. And halata rin sa EMAs. Almost all the EMAs, yung price are above the EMAs. So JP Morgan is on an uptrend. Same again, sa Weibo. Na-establish natin si Weibo as a downtrend in 2018. Price is below the moving averages. Okay, we move now to MACD, the moving average convergence divergence. So MACD, isa to sa mga favorite na ginagamit ng house, ng CTS, since madami siyang uses. And MACD is basically a trend following momentum indicator. Di na natin papasukan yung pinaka-formula niya. Ang mahalaga lang is that ginagamit niyang variables is the 12 period and 26 period EMAs. So ito yung MACD, itong black line. Meron rin siya yung signal line, itong red line. Kung nakikita niyo to, yung red line. Usually hindi namin siya ginagamit. Mas mahalaga sa amin is yung MACD mismo, itong black line. We use it to identify trends. We use it to identify divergences, overbought, oversold, and duration patterns. Itong overbought and oversold will be discussed tomorrow by Mr. Rome. Itong divergences, next part. So we use it to identify trends. Again, it uses the 12 period and 26 period EMA. So basically 2 weeks to a month's worth of price data. So if it's above 0, in a month's time, basically it's on an uptrend. So as you can see here, katulad sa Microsoft, time na to, above 0, uptrend siya on that time period. Above 0. Yung next na matututunan nyo tomorrow is yung mga durations. Magamit nyo rin yung MACD doon. So yan, katulad yan, nasa 0. Pero hindi ko na-expound yan. So yan. Kapag downtrend naman siya, usually bumabagsak na siya below 0. So sa case dito, malakas yung bagsak niya on that particular time frame, pababa yung MACD. Okay? Next, divergences. Use it to identify divergences. So first, what is a divergence? It's basically the price of an asset is moving opposite of the technical indicator. No? So sa case natin, MACD ginagamit namin usually on divergences. So as you can see sa left side, itong blue, ito yung price natin. If the price makes a high and a higher high, but the indicator makes a high and a lower high, meron tayong divergence. Umakyat yung price, bumaba yung indicator. Tawag natin dyan, bearish divergence. The opposite naman is kung yung price natin gumawa ng low and a lower low, but the indicator made a low and a higher low, again, baliktad, bababa yung price, pataas si indicator, meron tayong bullish divergence. Okay. Actual example. Ito zoom. So ano ba logic ng divergence? It's as defined, yung MACD is a trend following momentum indicator. So it measures momentum. Sa case ni Zoom made a high noong late September and a higher high mid-October. MACD made a high noong same time but a lower high mid-October. Ano bang logic nito? It just means that yung rally na to that created this momentum was stronger, no? Itong rally na to was stronger compared sa second rally na to, creating a lower high sa indicator natin, no? Visually, kung price lang titingnan mo, parang nakikita mo ba yung difference? Nakikita mo ba na mas malakas ito versus dito? Ako hindi ko nakikita eh. Kung si Boss Edward, pakita niyo yan sa kanya price niya, alam na niyan divergent yan. Dito tayo nakakaroon ng objective interpretation in terms of price action by using the indicators. So, dahil mas mahina yung momentum sa second rally, this is a signal, another signal na naman to that Zoom might be topping. Topish na siya. This might be the top already. Again, kung di natin alam future, signal to. Di natin alam kung ano mangyari sa future. So, ayan, we have a signal here. Buha tayong trend line. Nagkaroon ng breakdown. Another signal na pwede nang babago na yung trend. Pero mababa yung volume. So, pwedeng blip lang to. Pwedeng bear trap lang to. Baka sideways lang. Baka hindi naman to magda-downtrend. Pero sa case niya, before yung nangyari, naging downtrend nga talaga siya, di ba? So for us traders, signal, madami nang nagpapakita ng signal bago pa siya mangyari. Again, hindi siya sure, pero pwede na. Okay? So, yan. Same logic kapag bullish divergence, kanina bearish divergence yun. No? Same naman kapag bullish divergence. This is GDX or gold miners ETF. Again, we have a low in 2020 in December, and MACD made also a low. And in March, GDX made a lower low. But MACD made a higher low. Same logic na yung kanina sa Zoom. So this just means that yung selling pressure that nito, yung momentum pababa of GDX sa MACD was stronger compared sa second sell-off, selling pressure dito. Okay? This means na dito sa second selling natin, buyers are coming in. Humihina na yung sellers. So, kung price lang rin titingnan mo, makita nyo ba yung difference nito tsaka ito? Ako, hindi ko makikita yan. So, pero kapag sinasabi ni MACD na may divergence, I listen. Okay? And again, kung di natin alam itong time na to, may signal na tayo na GDX might be bottoming. Mayroon tayong bullish divergence. Gawa tayo trend line. Burahin ko muna to. One signal, yun. Tapos gawa tayo trend line. Connect the highs. Ikaroon ng breakout. Two signals na. So there's a chance na GDX might be changing its trend na. So kung ano ka, fundamentals mo, tugma na you like gold, the same time price is telling you that it's bottoming and meron ka ng possible buy areas. Diba? Okay. Hopefully klaro yung divergences. Any questions? Gets naman? Gets naman? Okay. So we go to our last indicator na, which is the ADX, or also known as the Average Directional Index. Medyo complicated din yung equation nito, so hindi na tayo magde-dwell doon. Pero you can Google it if you want. So basically, it just determines, ADX determines the strength of a trend. ADX usually ginagamit niya is 14 days of data points. And it considers yung range ng upticks or downticks in its calculation. And yung dami, di ba? ADX is also directionless, so it doesn't matter kung uptrend siya or downtrend. Kung malakas ang ADX, mataas, it just means that the trend is strong on that 14-day period. Okay? It is usually ginagamit namin siya sa magnitude strategies or yung mga titawag natin na momentum setups, swing setups, etc. Tuturo yan bukas. So abangan nyo yan. And usually gusto natin yung ADX is above 30. This means na malakas yung trend. But at the same time, ayaw natin rin yung sobrang lakas ng trend. Kapag yung ADX lumalagpas na ng 60, this signifies na extremely strong yung trend. Kapag extremely strong ang trend, it might be prone for a correction or rally. It might be a sign, topping sign or bottoming sign. Dito rin pumapasok yung sa primer ni boss, yung counter trend trading natin. Kapag ADX mataas, tapos pababa, capitulation, it might be a good chance for a bounce. Okay? Okay, for an actual example, ito, sa Microsoft, again, if you can see here, malakas yung trend niya, malakas yung up move siya. So umakyat si ADX. Okay? Dinagdag ko na rin to si Kupang since malakas rin yung ADX niya. And to show na kahit downtrend, di pinipiling ADX kung downtrend or uptrend. As long as mataas si ADX and yung trend, it doesn't matter yung direction. Directionless siya. Okay? Just shows na yung strength of a trend. Okay. Another example kung bakit ayaw natin ng over 60. Since kapag extremely strong ang trend tulad nitong Viacom yung time na yun, around 2021, it is also prone for a strong correction. So as you can see here, nung start of 2020 from $35, umabot siya hanggang 100 in less than 3 months. In less than 5 days, bumalik siya sa presyo na to. Okay? So ito sinasabi nilang escalator up, elevator down. Although, high ADX, nagpapakita to ng setups for us. Katulad nito, setup to, setup to, setup to, setup to. There are opportunities to get in kasi malakas yung trend. We could scalp this momentum setups. But at the same time, kung sobrang lakas naman niya, at the back of our heads, parang ano na dapat to, delikado na to. This is too much. A lot of people are already profitable. And konting balita lang. In this case, I think, if I remember it correctly, nag-stock offering sila. So the company itself tried to raise cash, di ba? So that prompted selling. Konting selling lang, since madami yung may hawak nito, sabay-sabay sila nagbentahan. And yan. Okay? So yeah. Okay. So overall, yun yung end of my presentation. I want everyone to know na technical analysis is not the same as a knowledge in technical analysis. It's not the same as having a trading system. Okay, it's only one part of the FTSR framework, 1/4 to be exact. There's still fundamentals, sentiment analysis, and risk management. So treat it as something na lang, one part of a bigger picture. Okay. Ayun. To sum it all up, no? Sa mga natutunan natin, in analyzing the technicals or the chart, first, we need to identify the trend. Primary, short term, we use the trend lines. Hopefully, natutunan nyo kung paano mag-drawing ang trend line sa akin. Since paulit-ulit kong pinagdo-drawing yan. Sana na-gets nyo yun. We can also use the indicators, the EMAs, and the MACD. Second, we need to identify where the support and resistance zones are. No? And to identify these, we use trend lines and EMAs. And from there, kapag alam na natin support resistance, alam na natin yung trend, we can assess na yung expectations natin going forward. Since, as mentioned nga, diba, in definition, gusto natin mahuli yung future price move by using historical price. Diba? So, to assess expectation and risk reward, baka ayaw natin bumili sa mga topping. Gusto natin bumili sa medyo bottoming. Di ba? Gusto rin natin magbenta kung medyo topping, di ba? Medyo topping na yung chart. So, medyo timing. So, we use ADX to assess that. Kung sobrang ADX, pangit, saktong ADX, yun yung gusto natin. Nasaan yung support and resistance? Again, we don't want to sell on supports. We don't want to buy at resistances. Kasi basically, we're going against the flow. And divergences. Kung topping signal, like yung kanina example yung Zoom, kung topping na yun, it might not be a good idea to buy na since nagkakaroon tayong divergence. Or kung pag meron tayong bullish divergence, it might be a good time to buy na. Medyo ano ba? Gets ba? So, yun. Okay. That's it for my presentation. Kung may ano pa tayo, kung may oras pa tayo siguro, we can do some charting sessions. I prepared some charts and para ma-participate rin yung iba. Kung may oras pa, I think. So, yun. Any questions?
Yeah, I have one, if that's okay.
No questions?
I do. So, hello. Rinig ba? Sorry, naka-on the mic ko.
Ayun, rinig.
Okay.
Kobe?
Yes, hello.
Okay.
So, regarding the trends, actually, it just occurred to me now, but how many points should we use to establish trends? Like you said that 4 points were enough, but should we just use that? Should we use 4 lang so that our trends are a bit more timely? No? Di ba para mas maikli time frame ng trends natin, mas accurate siya to what's happening at the moment? Or should we increase the number of points to get a better view of the trend?
Okay. That's a good question, no? In terms of, for me, at least for me, minimum lang yung 4 to establish a certain trend. Then again, it depends on your time frame. Since kung longer time frame ka, gusto mo, mas longer time frame yung tumatama sa trend lines mo, di ba? Shorter time frame, mas gusto mo, tumatama yung trend lines mo sa shorter time frame mo, di ba? Yung minimum lang talaga is yung 4 points to establish, at least para hindi biased, kumbaga. Another is, minsan rin kasi kung gumagawa tayo ng trend lines, you have to watch out for this. Kasi minsan, gusto natin idikit Nangyayari, gusto natin dumidikit yung trend lines natin sa price. Di ba? So minsan, form fit natin yung trend lines natin para mas tugma dun sa price. That shouldn't be. Kung ano yung sinabi ng price and dun yung i-connect mo yung trend lines mo, stick ka lang dun. Okay? Kung rene-respect niya yung unbiased trend line mo, that's good for you. I mean, baka tama yung trend line mo, most likely. Kung hindi siya tumatama, ganun talaga. Tama ba? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, there's a question, some message. Does a weekly time frame in MACD make a more significant impact than the daily time frame? It depends sobrang depende to. Kung longer term picture yung gusto na sinasabi ng system mo if you're a trader, doon ka mag-stick sa time frame na yun, no? So in total, bigger picture, bigger time frame is more significant compared sa shorter time frame trends. So in theory, yung weekly time frame MACD is more significant compared sa short. Pero again, it will depend on your system kasi minsan di mo naman kailangan yung bigger time frame kung scalper ka naman na intraday or daily. So magdedepende yan sa ano mo. Pero siguro for the purposes of trend analysis, bigger time frames are more significant versus yung shorter. If you remember yung sa kung napanood yung kay Sir Juanis, no? Yung mga primary trends katulad sa Adobe example kanina, bigger picture uptrend siya. So you could expect for the next 10 years siguro uptrend pa rin siya. Kasi bigger picture uptrend Pero shorter time frame, tulad yung 1-year chart na kanina, sideways lang siya. So depende yan sa strategy mo. Hope that answers your question, Frank. Okay, si Harold, may question?
Okay, hello. My question is about volumes lang. Parang in hindsight, diba? So we know na breakout siya. In hindsight, we know na malakas yung volume. But during that day, parang we don't know naman kung gaano kalakas yung volume. Parang is there a way ba, to determine that?
Good question. Very good question. Kasi kung live mo nang nakikita yung ano mo and you bought during that day, kung kailan nakakaroon na ng volume, hindi naman natin alam kung mataas yung volume di ba? Malaman na lang natin at the end of the day. So, good question. For me, kung nag-breakout siya ng price, bilhin mo na lang. Ngayon, kung malaki yung volume, it confirms your bias na, it's a good chance na tutuloy ito. May times na nabili mo, tapos low yung volume. At the back of your head, kahit hawak mo na siya, iba yung expectations mo versus mataas yung volume. Okay? First yun. So kung mababa volume, may chance na pwede kang baka mag-fail to. So dapat handa ako, mabilis ako mag-scratch or mag-square ng trade na to. Or, kung mataas yung volume, mas willing ko hawakan to kasi may confirmation no? As a way to know kung malaki yung volume niya, you go to intraday. No? Minsan kasi, kung i-observe natin yung intraday ng past prices, past few days, makita mo na yung average volume niya every 5 minutes. Kung mas malaki yung average volume niya intraday on that day, kung kailan siya nag-breakout, makikita mo yung difference. Kung doon pa lang there's a significant increase of intraday volume, you can bet na at the end of the day, malaki volume niya. Pero kung same lang as yung previous days na intraday volume, you could bet na mababa lang yung volume niya. Okay?
Thank you.
Hope that answers the question. Okay, Alena, tama ba?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's possible, but in cases wherein the three indicators contradict one another, how will you rank the three indicators and why?
Okay. Again, it's a very good question kasi madalas na nangyayari yun. So, sabihin natin, yung EMAs mo, sell, MACD mo, buy, or so, basta nag-iiba lahat. For example, at least for me, personally, I go back to price. Kasi minsan, kung magulo na yung chart, babalik lang ako sa price, and if the chart doesn't tell me anything, baka in the first place, baka hindi siya worth it i-trade. Kung hindi siya klaro, di ba? Next, kung yung hindi klaro yung chart, pero maganda yung fundamentals, maganda yung depende na yan sa trading system mo. If you're leaning more sa fundamentals and your fundamentals say it's a buy, despite malabo yung chart, I mean, doon mo na ipapasukin eh. Pero kung mas nag-lean ka sa chart and magulo, and kung magulo, ayan, it's not worth it. I mean, hindi mo kailangan ipilit sarili mo na on a chart that's not making sense to you. Diba? Kasi, diba? Ayun, magulo eh. Dapat kapag may trade tayo or may setup tayo, the trade comes to us. The chart is saying na, buy me, not the other way around. Hindi mo ipipilit sarili mo na, bibiling ko to kasi gusto ko to eh. Pero yung chart ang gulo. Hindi ko ma-measure yung risk ko. Hindi naman siya uptrend. Indicators say gulo-gulo rin. So, you don't need to, hindi mo kailangan pahirapan sarili.
Oh, so it's safe to assume na if the indicators are kind of messy, then parang it's a bad signal na to buy or to trade there.
Pwede. I mean, for me, it's more of a skip. I mean, baka may other charts naman dyan na mas maganda. I don't need to force myself on a single stock naman. I mean, for me, the greatest edge, yung at least for me, yung pinakamagandang edge, pinakamagandang probabilities is yung mga malilinis. Malilinis yung charts.
Okay, thank you.
Hope that answered your question. Thank you. Okay. Adrian?
Yes. So I just want to ask, like, in terms of looking out for convergences and divergences, what do you think is more reliable? Like, is it kasi parang from what you discussed, it's you use MACD, but then from what I know, parang mas tinuturo is ginagamit yung parang RSI. So like, meron bang mas reliable or?
Good question. Again, madaming indicators eh. So, isa lang yung MACD sa nagbibigay ng divergences. Pwedeng MACD may divergence, pagdating sa RSI walang divergence. And vice versa, pwede rin. So, again, babalik yan sa system mo. In my, I highly suggest just stick to a few and get your data points. Kung mas maganda yung signals mo sa RSI, then stick with RSI. Kung mas maganda yung signals mo sa MACD, stick with MACD. So, parang lang yun eh. Parang, mas prefer mo na moving average? The simple or the exponential? For our case, mas gusto namin yung exponential kasi mas tugma sa system namin. So, for others, siguro sa ibang technical analysis books or practitioners, baka mas okay yung simple moving average sa kanila. Or same, baka mas okay yung RSI sa kanila. Diba? So, again, these are just tools to use ng technical analysis indicators natin. They're just derived from price. So magdedepende yan sa, it's better to backtest na lang kung ano yung better sa'yo.
Okay, got this. Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? Ay, ito pa. Okay. My question si Alvin. Okay. Alvin, what if the price broke out intraday but went back also intraday? Is that automatically like invalidating the breakout? How to know if it's simply retesting? Okay. As mentioned before, kaiba, mas may significance yung bigger time frame compared to smaller. Mas nag-a-apply ito pagdating sa intraday versus daily. Usually, if your system is based on an intraday scalping or intraday strategy, and your system says na kapag every time yung price bumalik na sa ano mo, it's a sell na, invalidated na. Since my intraday system is telling me na valid lang siya kapag tumuloy siya. But if your system is based on the daily, most likely yung intraday noise lang yan eh. So at the end of the day, kung daily basis mo, dapat end of the day close yung basihan mo kung yung basis mo for selling or for selling. Gets? Naano ko ba yan? A lot of it will depend on your strategy. Since for others, intraday basis sila, they will respect on sinasabi ng intraday. Kung yung system mo na daily, wala ka dapat paki sa intraday. Okay? May ano ba yan? Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Oh, last. From Alvin again. Is it true that it's ideal to see low volume consolidation, high volume breakup? Low volume console, high volume breakout. But what if one high volume console, high volume breakout? High volume console, low volume breakout. What is the analysis for these situations? For me, ewan ko kung tama yung intindi ko sa question. No? Usually kasi kapag consolidations, usually it's actually nag-exchange of hands lang yung buyers and sellers. Eh. So for me, it doesn't matter yung kung malaki yung volume or not. Usually kasi when patterns form, or usually in consolidations, usually na nakikita ko, bumabawas yung volume. Usually yung volume nagsispike on breakouts. So for your question na high volume console, high volume breakout, siguro yung sa first number one, I think yung may mga charts kasi na na hindi mo ba distinguish yung volume kapag nag-breakout since yung height ng bar chart sila very similar. Kapag ganyan, I just stick to price. Kung hindi ko maintindihan yung sa volume, as long as I know na nag-breakout, buy pa rin yun. Kung ito naman, kung high volume consolidation, low volume breakout, mas titingnan ko yung sa breakout volume. Since yung, as mentioned before sa presentation, usually, ideally, nagsaspike yung volume on a breakout. Ngayon, kung mababa yung volume sa breakout, again, I would expect na it could fail. Highly likely mag-fail to compared na malaki yung volume sa breakout na move, no? Tama ba? At tama ba yung introduced question mo? So for breakouts, just dun yung tingnan yung volume siguro. On consolidations, hindi na, for me, hindi na kailangan. Any more questions? None? All right. Right. So guys, wala nang tanong, wala na. Don't worry guys, pagdating rin sa technicals, intro pa lang ako. The next few days, tuturo sila Rome, sila Chad, and Sir Bry. Yan, mga yan. Madami, pwede nyo tanong halos lahat ng technical related rin yan sa kanila. Also, yung mga mentors nyo, pwede rin. Kasi, I'm pretty sure, yan, pagdating sa technicals.
Guys, Akpa! Live stream, please!
Okay, my question si Tech, no? Can you implement the same trading system to different time frames or does it have to be different every time? Usually kasi kapag may trading system ka na, usually in my experience, a trading system works on that particular time frame, no? Kung binacktest mo and it gives you good numbers, then it works on that time frame. Kapag baguhin mo yung time frame on that particular trading system, the results might be different, no? Since iba yung in a perspective, no? Usually yung mga intraday, nag-intraday trading, mga kalaro mo dyan is traders, algos, etc. Kung bigger picture pag-uusapan, usually dyan po pasok yung mga institutions. So different time frames, you could say different players, no? So one system might work on a intraday time frame, pero kung gagawin mo na siyang daily, baka hindi na siya gumana. But again, it needs to be tested. Yung mahalaga dito, kailangan mo i-test. Kung gumana siya both, use it, di ba? Ang mahalaga dito, you can only establish a system na kumikita ka doon kapag na-test mo na. Yun siguro yung pinakamahalaga. No? Okay. All right, from Kyle sa Facebook stream. What's the difference between the default setup of MACD, which is 14.6, compared to EMAs na 10, 20, versus 2 weeks and 1 month? Like scientifically, scientifically, anong meron sa 14.6? Actually, ano na lang to eh. In terms of sa equation niya, kung it will differ siguro konti. Pero katulad nito, maliit lang naman yung ano eh. Scientifically speaking, sabihin ko, hindi naman mahalaga kung yung pinaka ano niya eh, yung pinaka use niya. Kung tama ba yung pinaka term ko. Ang mahalaga is kung tumatama siya, kung it gives you good signals, no? Kung sa tingin mo iba yung default settings hindi gumagana sa iyo, it's not giving you signals, it's not making you money. Then binago mo. Ginawa mo yung linagay mo dito na 2614. Kung mas maganda signals ito, then I suggest you stick to that. Mahalaga, masanay ka gumamit ng particular indicator na yun. And doesn't matter kung ano yung pinaka nitty-gritty niya. I hope that answers your question. Kasi sa totoo lang, usually pagdating sa indicators, hindi ko na binabago yung time period. No? Unless I tested it, binago ko yung time period, binacktest ko, and nalaman ko na mas maganda yung signals kapag sa time period na to. Okay? So I hope that answers your question. Kasi yung scientific part, hindi mo talaga kailangan sa to lang.
Peter, I have a couple of questions from our team.
Yes.
So question number 1, anonymous kasi he's shy daw.
Okay.
Anong routine mo, sir, sa gym? Anonymous, tago na lang natin siya sa name na Royce Bison. I'm so sorry.
Did you guys, mahalaga pumunta kayo sa gym, workout. I mean, mahalaga na may program kayo, pero pinakamahalaga mo na show up muna. Mahirap may program ka pero di ka na pupunta sa gym.
Ayun, that was question number 1. Question number 2, may nagre-request ng charting session dito.
Alright,
so,
okay.
Request niya, GMA 7, green, and FNI.
GMA 7, green, FNI. Okay, wait lang. Wait. Actually, naganda ako ng Seatworks eh.
Uy, may Seatwork pala kayo.
Hindi, ano lang to, kung may oras lang naman. Actually, feeling ko, kayang-kaya naman ng interns. Wait, ano ulit? GMA 7.
Green. then FNI.
Okay, wait lang ha. Pasok ko lang yung indicators ko.
Yeah, everyone else just type in your stock request para sabay-sabay na charting session.
MACD.
Pati yung sa'yo, Jordan.
Oo nga eh. Hindi ko sabi na natin yung sabi ko na.
Ano natin?
Okay. Wait lang ha. Okay. Kita ba? Kita ba yung nag-Instagrams ako? Kita? Okay. Siguro, ano ko muna, i-disclaimer ko muna. I'm primarily focused on the US market. So lahat ng examples ko before, puro US. So pagdating sa PH, please take it with a grain of salt kasi hindi ako masyado nag-focus doon. But the next few days, katulad nila Chad, yan, sila yung mga magaling yan sa Philippines. Pero ito, for the sake of natin, sa intro, ito yung GMA7, it's obviously on an uptrend, di ba? Again, first, alamin natin, it's on an uptrend. Second, malakas ang ADX. It's around 52 na. So, again, malakas yung ADX. Parang no-brainer, this is a possible momentum setup. Possible momentum. Ito, tawag nga namin dito pullback. Siguro maalaman nyo rin ito bukas. Pero yung setup na to, pullback to. So, at first glance, ready to buy kagad to. Everything looks good. MACD, prices uptrend. Kulang na lang siguro is yung pinaka-fundamentals. What's happening? Bakit? Why is it rallying this strong? No? Kung yung rason niya is yung I would think na hindi sustainable, I would think twice, no, in treating this as a momentum move. Pero kung tingin ko maganda yung rason kung bakit siya gumalaw, ito kung bakit siya na-breakout with good volume compared sa history, no? Automatic watch list to. Ano pa? Yeah. I mean, again, pure technicals, no fundamentals, automatic watch list, ready to buy. Kapag mag-breakout to either dito or dito, buy na kagad yan. Again, bukas tuturo yung setup, so abangan niyo yun. Madaming ganito. Ano pa? Meron po. Ito, chat. Okay. Ayun. Ito si Dan, magaling rin yan dun sa PH. So, ask him if Okay, ano pa? ASEN. Oh. Okay, so man ni ASEN, first glance, again, tayo? We see the, actually hindi, ito nag-uptrend siya before, but yung nag-break na siya, or so, what ito? Trendline dito, mali na. Mali. Pinaka-uptrend line natin, low, high, higher low, higher low, higher high. Ito na lang. So pinaka-uptrend na nakikita ko ito. So mostly, sideways trend yung nakikita ko. And nag-breakout siya doon. But at the same time, may previous high tayo dito na possible resistance. So mini sideways trend, nag-breakout siya. More particular ito pala. But at the same time, ADX is increasing. MACD umakyat, no? I would expect na mauuntog lang siya dito kasi previous resistance, previous high. So in terms of risk reward, baka late na ako. No? Kung setup wise, mas ideal kung bumili ka dito sa pivot point, pero yun rin, hindi tuturo yan bukas. So overall for me, watch to for me, but at the same time hindi siya automatic buy kagad kasi katulad no, unlike nung sa GMA7, risk reward, parang ito na yung pinaka-reward ko eh. Kung yung risk mo hanggang dito lang, baka pwede kung yung sabi ng system mo. Pero at the same time, medyo sideways move siya. So I'm not really expecting too much pa dito. Kung ako tatanungin, first glance, ASEN. Second, fundamentals, hindi ko rin alam. So another ano rin yun, another question. But pure technicals, okay lang, but not priority. Okay, okay next. PNB. PNB. Nope. Ito yung mga sinasabi natin siguro na ano, sino yung tanong na yun? Si Alina ba yun? Ito yung mga, I would say na magulo for me. Kung magulo to for me, first, kung trend analysis, ito yung uptrend, ito yung downtrend, parang walang paint na picture. Ito pwede rin itong sideways. Tapos bibili ko ba dito? MACD nasa baba, signifying a downtrend. ADX mababa. So auto pass. Auto pass ako dito. No? Again, pure technicals perspective. Kung tingin nyo, this is fundamentally cheap siya, ibang usapan pa yun. Okay? Compared sa previous two examples, ito, hindi, ayoko ito. Okay. Okay. Next. LHC. Yun. Ito maganda. Thanks, Dan. So, ito, LHC. Ito, almost same sa ASEN, almost, but may medyo different siya. So, sabihin natin, medyo nag-sideways siya ang time na to. Uptrend siya before. Nag-breakout siya sa sideways niya, new highs. It broke the resistance. It broke the previous resistance. I like this. I like this stock. Kumbaga, fresh pa lang breakout, high volume. Want to watch kapag gumawa uli siya nung setup. Ideally, ito medyo setup na siya for me. But at the same time, resistant siya. So medyo magdadalawang isip ka pa eh. Are you gonna buy where people are potentially selling? Medyo tanong yan. Pero kapag na-break na siya, clearing the highs, want to watch na to. Okay? Okay, my question. Okay, may sa Facebook stream. In drawing trend lines, where do you connect the first point? To the closest high-low or at any point as long as the trend line is formed? Also, do you connect points using the wick or body of the candle? Very good question. From Abel. Kasi yung iba, tulad nito, some people use the wick. Zoom in ko. Ang tanong ni Abel, ano bang gagamitin natin? Yung body or yung wick or yung, body or wick? For me, mas pipiliin ko yung body. I choose the low of the body over sa wick o kaya yung high ng body compared sa wick. Pero for others, yung ibang technicians, they use the wick. Again, babalik to sa depende sa'yo. Depende sa'yo kung ano yung mas sanay ka or mas giving you better signals. Yung iba siguro ginagamit both para mag-form fit sa trend line nila. I won't suggest, I highly suggest na iwasan niyo yung pag-form fit kasi minsan i-connect natin yung wick tapos yung second point natin body just for the sake na maganda yung trend line. I suggest mag-stick ka na lang kung wick ka o di sa wick. Kung sa body para mas consistent lang. And again, pagdating naman as you get more experience, you'll see na siya eh. It's more of expectations lang eh. Madaming times na yung trend line mo, guide lang siya. It's not really the exact thing. So, I suggest para lang for consistency's sake, kung wick, stick sa wick. Kung sa body, stick sa body. I hope that answers your question, Abel. Yeah. Again, more charts. Okay. Green, again, sideways. Madaming sideways. Sa case lang ni Green, medyo question mark lang ako kasi again, may resistance. Yung reward mo hanggang dito na eh. So, medyo parang same sa, ano yung previous na yun? Yung may previous high. ASEN, yes. Almost same sa ASEN. Pwede pero parang wala pa yung momentum move. Wala pa ADX, wala pa yung MACD. I mean, it's there. So, as a trader, medyo ano lang siya. I mean, pwede siguro watch list pero hindi priority. Kasi sideways, although bigger time frame, mukhang nag-uptrend naman siya, mukhang sinusupport naman siya. Wala lang akong nakita pa ang momentum. So, yeah, kung mag-breakout with high volume, to watch na siya. But at the same time, kung ngayon, parang wala pa eh. So, okay lang. Okay lang. Okay. JGS. Over, yung pinaka-gusto ko talaga yung kanina yung GMA7. Tugma lahat for me. For me. JGS. Coming from a downtrend. Downtrend, bagong break lang siya ng downtrend. Pero overall, bigger picture, mukhang sideways lang siya. Kumbaga, I mean, again, mas gusto natin yung uptrend eh. Sa case niya, hindi pa siya gumawa ng uptrend eh. Kumbaga, kung if you're gonna buy, sorry, pinaka-reward mo nandito na eh. Malaki naman, pero at the same time, in a bigger picture, medyo sideways trend siya. So, I'd rather stick to the uptrends kasi nandun yung easy money. So again, parang same lang sa previous chart. Okay lang, but not a priority. Kung siguro, again, baka matutunan siya sa next few days, yung pina-expect ko dito, mag-consolidate pa siya, ito yung form natin na cheat. Yan, set up yan, na cheat. Consolidation, MACD, umabot sa 0. Pero mamaya, bukas na yan. Okay. DLL. Again, a chart na medyo coming from downtrend. Tapos overall bigger picture. Parang hindi siya bigger picture uptrend. Parang okay lang. Usually mga ganito reversal eh. Kasi di ba? Nasa baba siya eh. Unlike yung mga, kung naalala niyo sa mga examples ko, usually nasa taas na yung chart. Yung EMAs mo nasa baba. Tapos ito, usually EMAs mo nag-fluctuate nasa taas yung 200-day. Usually, ano rin to? Ayoko siya na chart. Pure chart lang ha. Again, no fundamentals. APL. Bigger, I mean, overall, mukhang 90-degree stock na yan, medyo mini sideways. Overall, itawag nating VCP, nagko-contract yung volatility. MACD nasa 0, 8 walang ADX. Siguro kung mag-breakout, pwede ito tingnan for me. But for now, na medyo it's still consolidating. Dahil nagko-contract yung price niya, volatility, there's a good chance na mag-breakout rin to. So, I think want to watch, but at the same time, kung mag-breakout na lang. If you're a more longer term trader, possible setup to for you eh. Pwede itong reset. Again, tuturo to baka bukas. So, pa. Okay, last yung Apple. Meron pa ba? GSMI. Yun. Uptrend. But ADX, ilan yung ADX? Okay. Di pa naman 60, pero nasa 50 areas na. Kumbaga, alam naman natin na kapag gusto natin above 30, but ayaw natin yung sobra-sobra din. So, one signal, I mean, yeah, this is an uptrend. Legit naman yung uptrend niya. Uptrend. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158 159 Nag-breakout siya before nung May. So tumuloy pa siya. Ngayon, I would say ADX hindi pa siya over 60 pero medyo overbought na siya for me. Kasi one signal is yung volatility. Nag-spike na yung volatility. Isang signal yan eh. Usually gusto natin yung mga ganito lang. Parang ito pinaka-ideal kung nakikita nyo to. Very tight. Very tight high ADX, MACD, fresh breakout from a sideways trend, naging uptrend. Ito yung ideal momentum setup itong nandito. Bumalik siya, pero ito setup ulit ito eh. Pwede siyang pullback. Pero pagdating na dito, ito, setup rin to. Momentum boomer. So again, same high ADX, tightening, mababa yung volatility. Yun yung mga gusto natin. Pero ngayon na medyo, okay naman yung ADX, overbought siya, alam natin overbought, but volatility lumalaki compared sa historical volatility niya. Medyo questionable na siya for me. Pero kung mag-consolidate siya, sabihin natin, gumawa siya ng coil na matututunan niya rin bukas. Okay ito. I think this is prone for a consolidation or a duration. GFC. Okay, bigger picture. World bigger picture para siyang nasa sideways pa. Pero coming from downtrend, natin to. Coming from downtrend, breakout. For me tong JFC parang mukhang okay siya since mukhang nag-break na siya sa previous resistance niya. Previous resistance. Although medyo bumalik nga, nag-retrace back. At the same time, previous resistance can be support. So you could say that tong area na niya dapat mag-support na siya. Ngayon, kung hindi siya mag-support dito sa mini pullback niya, maybe maybe it needs to consolidate bago tumuloy. Or parang kumbaga parang the previous resistance needs to support muna to, at least dito. Kung bumalik na siya all the way and in-invalidate yung pattern, doon mo na masasabi na invalidated na yung breakout niya. No? Overall, katulad yung na-mention natin before, kung short-term time frame, uptrend to, di ba? Na-break niya yung pinaka-uptrend. So, it's just a signal na pwedeng shakeout lang siya. It's just a signal na pwedeng fail na siya, pero pwede rin na shakeout lang siya. Parang for me, kulang pa yung data points to see. I would say na invalidated lang talaga siya kapag yung price bumaba pa lalo. Kasi nandito pa siya sa previous resistance area niya. So, ideally mag-support siya. And it's not saying na fail na yung support eh. Kasi ito nag-uptick pa nga eh. It's a good sign. Kasi nag-close siya higher. So, intraday, siguro may nagsusupport. Ngayon, kung the next few days mag-fail yan, ibang usapan na. Okay? Gets ba? So, siguro, wait muna. Give it more days. Ngayon, kung gusto na pumasok, may sense kasi possible support siya. Okay? So, hope that answers your question, Danny. Yun, may US. May nagtanong sa for US. Tilray. Okay. Tanggalin ko natin. Tilray. Actually, ayoko rin dito. Sayang first. Hindi siya priority for me since first of all, bigger picture, it's one of the charts na magulo for me. Fundamentally, ibang usapan siguro since baka may nangyayari sa stock. Pero first place, hindi siya uptrend. Hindi siya uptrend. Moving averages, nagko-converge lang. So it's signaling na pwedeng mag-ano lang siya, mag-sideways. Overall, andas madami pang mas magandang chart sa ano, sa US. Ito, wala to sa priority. Okay, SNDL. Same. Same. Kung longer term, makikita mo talaga na medyo coming from a downtrend eh. So, titingnan natin talaga dito. From a downtrend, nagsa-sideways siya ngayon. Bigger picture. Nagsa-sideways siya. Ito yung tinatawag natin na neglect eh. So, hindi siya masyado pinapansin. So, I highly suggest kung pagdating sa US, stick to stronger than the market stocks. At saka at the same time, nag-uptrend. Ito mukhang weaker than the market siya eh. Since the SPX is going, overall the SPX is nag-all-time highs na eh. So, and pull back ngayon. Pero kung makikita nyo ito SPX, this is the index of the overall market. Umaakit yung SPX pero yung SNDL sa baba. So, it's weaker than the market. So, bakit ka sasabay sa mas mahina na nga sa market? No? Same with Tilray. There might, pwedeng mas malaki yung reward niya since it could be a reversal. No? Pwedeng may reversal na mangyari. But easy money nandun sa uptrends. At least stronger than the market. No? Okay. In US, okay, back to Philippines, ICT. Uy, ito maganda. So again, trend analysis. Trend line natin. Yeah, visible uptrend. Making new highs. Lakas ng ADX, 45. Hindi pa siya sobra. MACD, uptrend. Ito, watch list to. Watch for a, for a setup. Fundamentally, I don't know what's happening. So it's good siguro na alamin kung ano nangyari nung time na to. Why it broke out. Kasi there's a clear sideways nung October of 2020 hanggang May 2021. So, it would be nice to know ano yung cause ng breakout with high volume and it's making new highs. So, kung maganda yung rason kung bakit, maganda yung catalyst, ano to? Watch to. Okay? Okay, ano pa? PSEI. may konting bias sa PSEI kasi overall bigger picture. Since I don't trade the PSEI a lot, kasi kung compare natin, PSEI, actually ito weekly time frame to medyo investor cap to. Actually medyo downtrend siya. So bigger picture, medyo that's why hindi ko masyado pina-prioritize yung Philippines for me. But then again, may mga stocks na nagme-make ng new highs. Katulad ng ASEN, katulad ng GMA7, stronger than the market siya. So may mga individual issues na pwede natin take advantage. Pero yung PSEI, so kung ano yung laman ng PSEI, medyo low priority siya sa akin. Unlike siguro yung Jollibee. Kasi meron rin naman siguro, no? Nag-make ng new highs, maganda yung price moves. But the PSEI itself, medyo, siguro sana mag-consolidate siya. I would like it to consolidate more. Again, parang yung kanina example, yung sasabi nating cheat. Kung magano siya nag-cheat and mag-breakout, i-break niya yung downtrend line, hindi, ano tayo? We have something na. Okay? Pero I would expect it will only respect the trend line since historically, nauntog lang siya dyan. So, ngayon nga, kung mauntog lang siya dyan tapos bumaba ulit, I wouldn't be surprised. Di ba? Kasi yun yung expectations eh. But if it breaks out, ibang usapan na yan. No? Okay? Again, you have to tie in. Pagdating na sa mga indices na tulad nito, it's best to tie in with macro for a better perspective. Okay? Okay, VSTM, USD. Uy. Ito, VSTM. It currently break niya yung previous resistance niya on a 1-year time frame. Actually, it's looks good. Actually, looks good. Check natin yung ADX. ADX, yun nga lang. ADX almost 60. So, one thing to watch. But at the same time, pwede pa rin. MACD, mataas. So, pwede to tingnan. Pwede to tingnan for a possible setup. Again, tuturo to ni Rom bukas. Okay? So, again, lahat ng price above EMAs, uptrend, everything looks okay. Itong watch list. Okay. BSTM, TLTR. Palantir. Parang currently, parang it's on a sideways move. Di pa klaro yung sideways trend lines niya, pero ayun, I mean, for me, medyo low priority rin to. For in a technical analysis perspective, low priority since at first glance, it looks weaker than the market. No? Nagko-consolidate siya, mas mahina siya, pero yung SPX natin paakyat. So again, first check pa lang, mas mahina siya versus the overall market. Auto pass for me. Ito, ito rin, weaker than the market, automatic. Technical analysis perspective, hindi rin siya klaro. Although it broke out from a downtrend, high volume, if you like this stock, baka pwede siya mag-consolidate dito. And again, magkakaroon ng cheat. Kung mag-breakout, baka pwede. Reversal, ito yung mga sinasabi natin yung mga reversal setups. Pero wala na yan sa topic eh. AHT. Again, ito, first glance, alam ko yung 200 EMA ko. Ito. So bagong break lang siya, so hindi pa siya yung clear uptrend. Kung magdodraw tayo ng trend line, ito lang yung pinaka-trend line pa lang natin, uptrend line. So overall, again, mas mahina siya sa SPX. So auto pass to for me. Weaker than the market. Pwede rin siya mag-reversal. Pwede. Again, kung magkaroon siya ng reversal setup, again, a square root. I think naturo yan ni boss. Kung may square root. Pwede. And dapat fundamentally, may rason kung bakit siya magre-reverse. I mean, magkakaroon ng reversal. Okay. HT, tamo, meron pa? Okay. Meron pa ba? May... So don't worry guys, pagdating talaga sa technicals, first day pa lang ako. Pagdating sa charting, kapag kanyo rin tanong yung next ano natin, speakers natin. Meron pa? Okay, may nag-message sa akin. ARWR BIIB. Okay, meron nag-message sa akin. So, charting. EMAs, mukhang uptrend siya. Bigger picture. Kasi above siya ng prices. Nasa resistance. Basically, ito rin sabi natin, possible bagong fresh break from a reset. So, from a sideways, may bagong breakout sa sideways, but may previous resistances tayo dito. So resistance, just respecting resistance, kaya siya nauntog. Ngayon, yung tanong, anong gagawin niya next? So, will it consolidate and then break out? Or sabi natin cup and handle? Or just a pullback, tapos tutuloy? Pwede rin fail lang siya, bababa lang ulit siya. Again, ano lang to, setting expectations kung anong possible moves niya. But ang pinakamahalaga dito, alam natin na sa resistance area siya. So, still needs more data points, if you ask me. Still needs a few more days. So yan, KRWR. Isa pa, BIIB. Uy. What I like dito, kasi if you remember yung example natin kanina sa STAA, there's obviously a catalyst that happened here. Kasi ito, sa malaking sideways trend. And it broke out no June. Broke out in June with high volume. High volume. So dito, alamin na natin ano nangyari. Kung hindi mo nahuli, sa pag-breakout pa lang, usually kasi nangyari yung news on the day itself. So there's a high chance na hindi mo huli within the day after that breakout. But after the next few days, pwede natin abangan ng possible momentum move or swing move. So watch list to. Automatic watch list to for me. High ADX, good MACD above 0. So it's possible, I mean, high volume with a high volume breakout, there's a high chance na itutuloy niya, magkakaroon tayo ng uptrend dito. BIIB. Siguro i-note ko lang siguro na biotech to. Usually yung mga biotech, maganda yung catalyst kapag may magandang data regarding their drug, etc. etc. At the same time, kapag pangit yung data, pwedeng mawala rin lahat to. So, kung nagka-trade kayo ng US, there's good opportunity within biotechs, but at the same time, you need to manage your risk well. That's mga ganun. Okay. Okay. Any more? Okay. Sasawa kayo guys for the next few days. Sawang-sawa kayo sa charts. Okay, nice chat. Okay. DMC SEC. Okay, DMC SEC. Unlike the previous Philippine charts, gusto ko yung nag-break to ng resistance. So, break siyang resistance. Coming from medyo sideways. It's good to know rin kung ano nangyari, bakit siya gumagalaw. ADX is high, 40. But at the same time, nag-break nga siya pero hindi siya yung sobrang break din. Worse is, pagka-break niya, bumalik rin siya within the day. You could say na medyo medyo supalpal yan. Medyo invalidated yung breakout. Again, low volume. Low volume breakout from after break ng resistance. So again, pwedeng signal rin siya na but konti lang yung nag-agree na dapat nag-breakout to. So ano rin to, want to watch siguro next few days kung mag-consolidate then tuloy or mag-fail lang siya. So again, okay lang, but not priority. Magbigay siya ng setup and tumuloy pa siya, yun, ibang usapan na. Ito pala, sinabi ni Dan, dividends din yung DMC. So if you adjust the price, new high na to. Okay, baka sa Instagrams di pa na-adjust. Okay, so may mga ganung factors na kailangan nyo take to account. Okay, wait lang. Question from Alvin, does resistance matter for uptrending stocks with good catalysts? Yes. Yes, kasi in a pure technical perspective, if historically may mga nagbenta doon, you could expect na yung mga hindi nakapagbenta ng time na yun, magbebenta pa rin. Kumbaga, it's a good chance after the breakout, tutuloy lang siya, hindi na papansinin yung resistance. But in expectations, kung mag-set tayo ng expectations, since we're traders, risk first, di ba? Expect na natin na resistance will resist. I mean, ano naman yan eh. Kumbaga, kung hindi siya mag-resist, okay, good. Alam natin na malakas. No? Kahit maganda yung catalyst mo, kapag may previous resistance, expect na it will resist. Okay? Okay. Hope that answers your question, Alvin. Wait lang. May question from Jet. Would you advise to buy put options on SPX as a form of insurance in case markets break down in the coming months? Hindi ako, I can't predict the market. So, ayoko magbigay ng advice kung saan siya pupunta. But if you think that the market would go down, I mean, go. I mean, kung tingin mo by market, then I think it's an okay move to buy put options. Kasi play tayo sa SPX. I mean, overall SPX, you could argue na medyo overbought siya. Pwedeng divergent, di ba? Ano yung tinuro natin kanina. So making new highs, MACD making lows. But for me, medyo hilaw pa siya to say that pababa yung market. Kasi again, it's on an uptrend. Kung titingnan natin yung EMAs, it's actually respecting the 50-day, itong red line, no? And ngayon, nasa 50-day siya. So for me, since it respected the 50-day previously, I would expect na i-respect pa rin niya ngayon. Ito yung possible sasabi ni kalimutan nagtanong yun, kung nagkakaiba yung indicators, ito saying na possible divergence and yet 50 days saying na possible support. Again, di ko naman mapipredict yung market eh. I can only expect kung ano yung binibigay ng chart ngayon. So, nasa support siya, I would like it to support. So, I wouldn't buy put options as of now kasi I mean, kung tingin mo ba siya, siguro tie in with fundamentals, tie in with your sentiment analysis that you think the market will go down. It's a good move. It's a good move to buy put options. Pero kung pure technical lang, parang hilaw pa for me. Okay? At the same time, since you think, insurance lang naman eh, no? In case the markets break down. I mean, it makes sense naman. Okay lang. Ako, I don't buy options rin kasi. So, parang wala siya sa radar ko. So, maybe that, pwedeng bias ko rin yun. Okay. Okay, question from Kyle. Where do you set your expectations if there is no more resistance? If there's no resistance, to the moon yung expectations ko. Unless gumawa siya ng resistance. Kung there's no resistance to resist. Pure price perspective lang. So, minsan pa nga mas gusto natin yung new highs eh. Kasi walang resistance eh. So, hindi natin alam kung hanggang saan yan aakyat. If no one knows kung saan yung resistance. So, the others, nakikita rin nila yung chart eh. Madami dyan, technical traders din eh. So, if they don't see a resistance, madami rin dyan na hindi magbebenta. Diba? I hope that answers your question. Okay. Okay.
Okay, guys. Last questions. Overtime na tayo.
Don't worry guys. Next few days, puro charts pa yan. Magsasawa kayo sa candlesticks. Sobrang magsasawa kayo.
Okay, let's wrap it up there. Peter, thank you so much for your time and the marvelous start to technical analysis. Thank you everybody for attending the live session. So we'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Another one of Peter's teammates from Team Onboarding will be here to continue technical analysis part 2. As always, guys, please just ask your questions. Don't be shy, leave them on the Facebook groups, message us directly. However way you can get to us, we'll be glad to help you guys out. Stay tuned. They're the dynamic duo for technical analysis. They're the best. So have a great day ahead. Keep safe. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.